right, it's time to get your plant and garden questions answered. Lisa Briggs out on the patio. Good to see you, Lisa. How are you?
Good to see you guys, too.
All right, we have some calls. We'll start with Sam in Spring Green. Hi, Sam. What's your question?
Yes, we have a 7-year-old serviceberry tree, and we've noticed the last 3 years that it's dropping very early spring. It will drop yellow and red leaves, a few of them. It's getting more over the years. And when you look up from the bottom of the tree, the bottom third of the branches are dead.
Okay, so I would start off by pruning out those dead branches. And it sounds to me, if it's happening sort of early summer, what it might be is a fungal disease. So you could certainly spray a fungicide after the petals drop.
Okay.
And then the other thing I would say is that serviceberry don't mind it being a little wet, and we have had some dry years, so maybe you want to irrigate, put a good layer of mulch down around the planting area, and see if that will help.
Okay, I have one other question. My iris plants, the leaves at this time of the year are starting to tip over even though they're green. They will lay flat on the ground.
Probably time to go ahead and thin them out. Iris need to be divided every 3 or 4 years, and now is the time to do that. So dig them up and separate them and then replant.
All right, thanks for the call.
Next caller, hey Paul from Janesville, what's your question?
Yeah, so I've got a lilac bush. I hesitate to call it a bush. It's more like a tree.
Okay.
And what I wanted to do is, my wife had the green thumb. I've got a brown thumb. I kill everything. So I want to take and trim it back.
Okay, you can do that. Pruning, though, now is going to likely cut off flowers that would be ready for next year. So it's okay to trim it, maybe about, 20–25% if you're making it smaller, but just be aware that you're going to cut off flower buds for next year. They've already formed. Best time to prune lilacs is right when they're done flowering.
Okay, so next spring. All right, Paul. All right, Paul, thanks for the call. Let's go to Vicki now. Hi, Vicki, what's your question?
Yes. Hi, Lisa. I have 3 hydrangea plants that are about 3 years old, and one of them was blooming profusely, and the other 2 only had 1 bloom on a piece. So what can I do?
Do you know what type they are? Are they low with the sort of ball-shaped flowers?
They're the Summer Crush.
Oh, they're Summer Crush. Okay. So Summer Crush is out of a series out of Minnesota. What I would do is make sure that you prune it in the summer or in the spring. Don't prune it in the fall, so don't cut it back at the end of the season. Wait until spring and just prune back the dead branches. It will bloom a little bit on new growth, but a lot of flowers will come off that old growth, so do what you can to preserve that.
Okay, lots of sun.
No. Summer Crush is a morning sun kind of hydrangea, but it does need 3 or 4 hours to bloom.
Okay.
Oh, Karen from McFarland, what's your question?
I want to know the best way to keep a high hibiscus plant alive in the winter.
So you have one that you probably have outside and you want to bring it inside. Make sure before
I just want to do whatever I'm supposed to do.
Okay.
Because I really don't know.
Tell her what she's supposed to do.
If it has been outside for the summer, you're going to want to make sure that you treat it for insect pests before you bring it into the house. And you're going to want to make sure that you time that so when the temperatures are below 50 at night or a little consistently, that's when you're going to want to move it inside. It needs a ton of light. The shadiest spot in your yard isn't sunnier than the sunniest spot in your house. So just put it in the brightest location, a south or a west window, and just know that it's probably going to drop a bunch of leaves when you bring it inside.
So it's not going to really thrive inside.
It will do okay. Sometimes they get a little leggy and you'll want to do some pruning back, but they don't like that transition from outside to inside.
All right. Well, we are out of time. We thank you all for calling in. Lisa, thanks for coming out today.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right. We'll check back soon, and we'll have a final check of your forecast coming up.